I'm Joe. I'm a visual artist from London.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon. I'm a visual artist from Oxfordshire in the UK.
Hi, I'm Alice and I'm also a visual artist from London.
Hey, I'm Dave. I'm a sound artist and sound designer from London.
Hi, I'm Keir Williams. I'm a researcher and visual artist from Bristol in England.
Hi, I'm Clara and I'm also a visual artist, mixed media artist from Madrid.
What elements of your work connect you?
I personally feel like that it's the process of thinking through making and sketching through whatever medium we use.
So another thing is our interest in people and interest in structures, the way people work together, or share things together, or come together culturally.
And also collecting a lot of information and experiences and kind of expanding and then contracting everything for a final or in progress piece.
It's working sensitively within the group as well. So when you are put in a space, you are automatically have something in common.
And I guess also using sight, place and people as a stimulus for response is something that we've probably got in common quite a lot.
As we've been introduced to the area and the community, it's just been really nice to engage with that as a group and think in this slightly different headspaces.
And it's always great to, if you're working in a group with people from different disciplines, the time that is afforded us to be spent listening to each other and learning from each other and adapting in certain ways to each other till we find a way that fits, to keep turning it over. And I think on this project, because of the nature of the project itself, it's fitted very nicely because it's very steeped in observing and listening and responding to the way that other people are feeling and behaving and connecting.
There's a kind of complement to each other in the different skills that we have. So at certain points, today, for example, Dave's got a very good sound design background. So there's points where he's really helped technically as much as there's been points conceptually where we've helped each other. But I think the important thing for all of us, and kind of something Joe alluded to, was the fact that we all get on, and I mean that in terms of we literally get on as professionally as friends, but also we get on, we try to make the things we're interested in keep on doing and doing and doing.
It's great that there's coming to a project where you're working collaboratively, because when you get taken round to see various things, there's 6 sets of eyes, 6 sets of ears, and each person picks up on different things, and then when you're all sitting around the table at the end and telling your view of what you've done that day,
It makes a rich tapestry.
Yeah, not that you missed something, but you didn't. It's not at the forefront of your head, so then someone else has picked that up, so then you haven't missed it in a way, so then it's much richer.
And I think it's been a really safe environment to be introduced to collective working. I've always felt that everything that I've said has been respected by everybody in the group, that that's the mutual.
What were your preconceptions coming up here?
I think we tried not to build any expectation or any preconception, to come here and have free mind and kind of grasp everything in a different way.
Having said that, I guess coming here, I think the remoteness was something that I had in my head. I guess it was just a theme that actually I don't feel like it's almost that was a preconception that I don't feel as it was justified. I don't feel like it's actually that remote. It feels quite.
Or at least the isolation that you would associate with that level of remoteness is entirely not part of this place because of the deeply rooted sense of community and togetherness that it has.
Yeah, there's no sense of isolation that isn't.
That outward-looking thing is seen in a lot of levels, from the early founding of the town, I suppose, to this that we're doing here. It's kind of international outward.
I didn't necessarily come with preconceptions, but what I didn't expect was the freedom that we have been afforded in this space, on this little island, by the in Neptun. Like, you've just got this wonderful like space that you can play around with, and then you've got this outside space that you can play around with, and just
people that you can move.
yeah.
And it's deeply inspiring to be able to have that, and for the focus to be placed upon that freedom and time to become inspired and time to create and time to reflect rather than getting to an end piece.
To allow us to have that space, and actually from the little things, from the day to day of like, when are we going to see, well, you need to do your thing. There doesn't, even there's some anxiety about what we're doing and how it's going to be completed, that didn't come across to us.
It's a very innovative way of conducting a residency, and deeply valuable in terms of recognising that part of an artist's process or a collective's process is by far as valuable, if not more valuable, than the outcome. And obviously the interactions that we're having with people aren't necessarily the interactions of a final piece that would normally be your only point of contact with an artist, but we've still had such amazingly valuable interactions throughout the project that are equally, if not more so, in terms of fruitfulness than the way that a residency would usually be structured. I think that was incredible.
There's incredible care and support and respect, I feel, for what we're doing from everybody who's been in the group. That support is always there to help us with whatever we like.
What will be the ripple effects on you from being?
I will certainly take, and I think I can speak for many of us, take back the ideological structure of the whole concept of this, which is to focus on the creative process and the space to reflect and become inspired is actually a tangible and important part of arts practice. The context of the residency itself, in terms of us learning about this community of people and meeting these people, is something that we will take back with us.
The outcome is the continuation of the project. So it was I think the goal was to think and create space for us to create, and it's created a project.
As you said at the beginning, we all have very different practices to an extent, with some crossovers, but I think the outputs can be very varied. One of the things I think we've all thought is, how do we come again and do this and start to realise some of the things we thought this is more tangible, something that we can really produce, something that's much more tangible. But also, for example, as an academic, I see writing some kind of academic paper, sharing the work I do here with my students,
and sharing the work in the relative countries that we all work in,
and the most important,
and teaching them about the working practices that we've adopted here.
But I also think it's really important that we share that it happened here, that it happened because of what you guys have done, and the fact that this is Melbu, and the fact that just the chances that we've had here and the kind of process you've allowed us to go through is what makes this happen. And I think that's one of the reasons this place is still successful, is still interesting, creative, is that it thinks internationally, it faces outwards. And facing outwards means we come back, I suppose.
The connections that we've made with the people that we've met, those will, I would imagine, continue. Some of those are professional connections, and some of them are more personal connections, linked by the processes that we've been through, the experiences we've had.
Also, all these landscapes, the spaces, the tank, with all this sound, everything that we've been doing, for me it has inspired me deeply. And while I was thinking in this process of what we were making, it also gave me a million ideas of the project I'm going to start next month. So I'm actually taking a lot from everything here.
It's been a deeply affecting week for me, and I think for quite a few of us who felt quite emotional on lots of occasions.
What, in your view, is the future of Neptun? What could it be used for?
I think it's an incredible space for artists, not just visual arts disciplines, but all types of artists. It's an incredible performance space. It's a very internationally distinct place that could bring people from lots of different countries and teach them something that they can then take away. And it's very central to Melbu. So in terms of bonding the community in art, the art is central to that.
This being an empty industrial space at the moment, or was, and turning that into an important art space, iconic art space, cultural space that you can ritualistically use as that, where you bring culture, thinking, you get innovative thinking, innovative performances, innovative art, that it can become, like Alice said, an internationally important institution.
I think the other side of that though is that it's really important to keep have a record and a kind of museum of where Melbourne comes from. So, you know, for the fishing industries, for the things that are here, for the people that are here, for the importance of, you know, herring, of the processing of the oil, of the flour, nationally, internationally, but also on a local scale. It's really important to keep that heritage, and it might be something that can be lost if this goes. I think it's really central to that. So all of these cultural things, all this theatre, all this performance stuff needs to be recognising that and referencing that, and I think that's maybe how it could go forward.
It very definitely could link, as I said before, the old past of Melbu with the new way that Melbu is in terms of its community, more recent changes in the community in Melbu, and possibly the global connections. Those communities linking together in this.
Which is coming back to the question that we kind of were considering at the start of this week, which was, where do we come from and where do we go now? And the thing we found out right at the beginning of the week, that Melbu is the place between the places. And we thought that was really apt for everything we've done this week.
And I also think that because of its position so close to the Arctic, with such a, well, it will be increasing more and more, but what we discussed this morning, climate change here is even a bigger issue. So I feel that could be a potential point where a lot of, you know, artists and researchers could come here to develop something towards that affects absolutely the rest of the world. This is the key part of climate change that affects all the world.
And having something that has become something else is, in doing so, we were talking before, throughout the week we talked about ripple effect and how little things can change other things in slightly bigger circles. Where if you do one thing, like you keep this place and you keep it going as all these things, something to remind us of the past but look to the future, it's another step, it's another footprint of a good thing, and it's good to keep good things and embrace them.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go make this